Death, destruction, high emotions, big stakes, fantastic climaxes, and a rush of adrenaline to keep the day young. All of these things and more are the key features of some of the most epic shonen battles that we have come to know in anime. Add in a long running time for some of these battles, and you get anime masterpieces that live forever in our minds. In today's video, we're going to present to you what we think are the longest battles in anime. They're also some of the best ones too, so do yourself a favor and give them a watch later. As always, give this video a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe to our channel for more anime greatness. Let's begin unpacking what we have. Number 10. 7 Deadly Sins vs Demon King. 7 Deadly Sins. The conclusion to the 7 Deadly Sins is a final battle against the Demon King, father of Meliodas. The fight lasts for 5 episodes, starting from the final battle episode 92 and finishing at episode 96, Mortal Enemies. And it sees Meliodas finally destroying his father and ending his tyrannical rule of the Demon Clan. What's noteworthy about this face-off is how Meliodas uses his final form to destroy the Demon King, destroying his Dark Mountain visage. What's more, Meliodas is not alone. He has with him all of the 7 Deadly Sins, each playing a key role in the fight. Finally, a lot can be said about the overall theme of the show itself being highlighted here. It's about defiance versus subservience, free will versus salvary, abuse versus kindness. It's the culmination of a lot of pain and anguish that Meliodas has experienced due to his destiny of being the son of the Demon King. Number 9. Asta and Yami vs Dante. Black Clover. The Black Bull's battle against the Black Magician Dante is worthy of the attention it gets. It ran for 6 episodes. Starting from episode 162, the Great War breaks out, to 167, Black Oath, making it one of the longest fights in the series. This confrontation sees both Asta and Yami teaming up to take down Dante. As part of the Dark Triad, Dante is a magician that can call upon the souls of the demons living in the underworld to do his bidding. He's also implied to be Asta's father, but that is a story for another time. The battle sees Asta beginning a fierce offense against the evil sorcerer, leaving him no chance to gather his strength. However, Dante is more powerful than both Asta and Yami together, and his many destructive spells are a living proof of that. As Yami and Asta tag along and attack in union, we see Dante using more and more of his dark powers to reach a higher level. Yami is forced to use his Death Thrust spell to deal significant damage to Dante. The battle is also memorable because of the way Dante taunts Asta about his demon origins. For Dante, Asta is a strange host because instead of embracing his darkness, he tries to control it, which according to Dante makes Asta weaker as both a human and a demon. In episode 167, the battle ends with Asta landing a devastating blow on Dante, rendering the evil sorcerer motionless for a good bit. However, Asta is too exhausted to completely kill Dante, and so the fight ends with no real winners. Number 8. Miriam vs Netero, Hunter x Hunter.
ある感情に支配されていた。
So many people thought that Hunter x Hunter was about the adventures of a veteran fisherman and the aspirations of his son to be like him. How naive we were. Hunter x Hunter is more than that, and the many diverse arcs that the anime gives us have left us shocked, amazed, and excited about the possibilities that the show explores. Of course, the show also includes so many great battles and rivalries that are worth a mention. The greatest and longest one, running for 6 episodes, is the epic confrontation between the Chimera and King Miriam and the leader of the Hunter Association, the grizzled Netero. Pose X and X name is episode 122, and it is the first encounter between the two. Netero is not in his prime anymore, but that doesn't mean he cannot take on the greatest threat humanity has ever witnessed. The entire battle starts with Miriam simply wanting to talk to Netero instead of fighting. However, Netero understands that the Ant King is not going to be persuaded to stop his conquest of humanity, so Netero has no choice but to use every ounce of his power to put a stop to him. Although Netero dominates the battle early on, Miriam is not just a strong being, he is also quite smart. He's able to figure out Netero's signature battle avatar's movements, Zero Hands Buddha, and is able to counter every attack. In Hostility X and X Determination episode 127, the battle culminates in Netero's finally telling Miriam his real name. Blooded, broken, and having lost an arm and a leg, Netero pulls on his trump card, a nuclear rose bomb that gets activated when Netero stabs his heart. And well, Miriam finally feels true fear for the first time as the nuclear explosion destroys him, proving Netero's point that humans are not to be underestimated. Number 7. Yugi vs Kaiba, Yu-Gi-Oh!
貴様の推し率か。今
神が激突する時だ。
The legendary show that has given us so many memorable card battles is up next. There's a lot to be said about the rivalry between Yugi and Kaiba. First, it's an extension of their ancient Egyptian war that both duelists have been a part in. And second, it's awesome seeing Oblistic the Tormentor facing off against Slifer the Sky Dragon. Third, we just can't get enough of these two exchanging taunts and smack talk as they both do everything to win. And we're never disappointed. Yugi and Kaiba duel for the longest duration, a running time of 6 episodes during the Battle of City Arc in the Colosseum. Clash in the Colosseum Part 1 is episode 129, and it is epic on so many fronts. The first 3 episodes sees Kaiba using his XYZ dragons to dominate the match early on. Yugi is forced to go on the defensive until he is able to summon Slifer, his signature card. When Oblistic and Slifer clash, all bets are off as to whether the duel will lead to the destruction of the entirety of Battle City. Screens literally explode and helicopters go down as the awesome match continues. The next 3 episodes see Kaiba using his blue-eyed white dragon to turn the tables against Yugi. And as per tradition, Yugi also summons his dark magician to even the odds. In addition to the main duel going on, Joey also finds himself in a dreamlike state battling a child figure in a duel. This duel is interesting because we get to see Joe's mental state after what happened in the duel against Marie. Finally, Clash in the Colosseum Part 6, episode 134, sees the conclusion of the rematch between the two duelists. Yugi destroys all 3 blue eyes white dragons on the field and wins the duel, setting the stage for the future duel against the villain of the arc, Marie. It's a battle of drama and high emotions, just like we have to come to expect out of this show. Number 6. Pain vs Naruto. Naruto Shippuden.
痛みを神羅転生。
What does Madara, Naruto, Hashirama, and Itachi have in common? They're badass shinobis who have laid waste to countless enemies and foes. We've seen each of the main characters in Naruto Shippuden face off in one-on-one fights that turned our idea of what a shonen battle should be about upside down. Naruto vs Pain is one such battle that left a permanent mark in our memories. It lasted 7 episodes, starting from episode 163 Explode, Sage Mode, and ending at episode 169, The Two Students. The battle sees Naruto using his Animal Path ability to summon animals to his side against Pain. Of course, Pain is not a weak opponent at all. We see how his Diva Path of 6 Pains was used to brutally obliterate Hidden Leaf Village, and we see that technique in action against Naruto again. There's not much to say here other than the fact that Naruto wants to put an end to the cycle of hatred and destruction that Pain started. It's a battle between 2 students, 2 shinobis who have clashing ideals, settling the score the only way they see fit. Number 5. Yurukiora vs Ichigo, Bleach. We never get tired of seeing the battles that Bleach offers us. And one of the most popular fights is when Ichigo takes on Yurukiora. The fight lasts 7 episodes, starting from episode 266, Ichigo vs Yurukiora, Restart, and ending at Ichigo vs Yurukiora, Conclusion, episode 272. Ichigo goes to Los Nox and finds himself battling his strongest foe yet. The special thing about this conflict, as applies to much of the fake Karakura Town arc, is the differences in power between the Soul Reapers and the Arrancar members. This is made very clear when Ichigo is absolutely dominated in the first 4 episodes, when Yurukiora uses all his powers to crush the will of the vigilant Soul Reaper. Yurukiora releases his Segunda Etapa, sending Ichigo flying all over the Los Nox. This keeps going with Ichigo seemingly unable to land any real counterattack. However, because Ichigo believes in himself, victory is the only thing that keeps him going, despite his injuries. The psychological aspect of the fight puts into perspective what it means for a Soul Reaper to do everything to fulfill his duty. As the battle rages on, Ichigo finally draws on his inner hollow form, transforming himself into the Vasta Lord. From there on out, Ichigo is able to dominate the fight against Yurukiora, sending the arrogant Arrancar flying everywhere and tearing apart his wings and body. Of course, even in his new form, Ichigo still has a weakness: his horn. Yurukiora lands a blow that tears off one of the Vasta Lord's horns, and forcing him to go back to his human form. Still, Yurukiora is drained from the ordeal and is unable to mount any real attack. The conclusion of the battle sees Ichigo standing victorious, while Yurukiora slowly fades into nothingness, proclaiming that now he understands what a heart means. Number 4. Yusuke vs Sensui, Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho introduces us to one of the greatest and most complex villains in anime, Shinobu Sensui. Having had his ideals as a spirit detective crushed by the malice of the human race, Shinobu vows to destroy the barrier separating the demon world from the human one, bringing about a new era where demons can kill all of the evil humans. Standing on the other end of this fight is Yusuke Oramishi, a firm believer in the innate goodness of the human race. It's the ultimate battle of good and evil, and it lasts for 9 episodes, starting from Spirit Detective Showdown episode 85 and ending at episode 93, The Proof. The battle sees Yusuke awakening his demonic form to battle Sensui, overcoming the powers of the great detective and ending his life. The last scene in the Proof episode is one of the most poignant ones, as Itsuki carries the lifeless body of Sensui into his marked tomb in the demon world, where his soul may rest in peace. On some level, Sensui did have a token victory. He fought to the bitter end, believing that demons can be a force of good. Number 3. Frieza vs Goku, Dragon Ball Z. Really, where do we even begin? It's one of the most highlights of the Dragon Ball series for so many reasons. First of all, Frieza represents the real villain that Goku has to overcome. The battle between the two sees Frieza annihilating Goku's friends one by one and dominating the Great Saiyan. It also gives us a look into how Frieza is deep down really afraid of the Saiyan's power, and that the reason why he destroyed their race was because he was worried about a certain Saiyan managing to one day defeat him. Well, starting from Goku vs Frieza, the final battle, episode 87 to episode 105, so 19 episodes in total, we slowly see the build up to that. Frieza kills Vegeta in one of the most shocking moments in the show's history, and kills Krillin just to spite Goku. The last one ends up being the final straw, as Goku finally draws on his inner power to avenge his friend and goes Super Saiyan for the first time. As the battle continues, Goku outclasses Frieza in every aspect. He's stronger, faster, lands more damaging blows, and is able to counter Frieza's every move. As the sadistic villain gets more desperate, he resorts to destroy planet Namek out of desperation. Thankfully, Goku manages to save both Piccolo and his son by giving them time to leave the planet. From that point forward, Frieza goes 100%, meaning now he's at peak power. We see how his body gets much bigger, but at the same time becomes slower. Although this power boost does give Frieza an early advantage, it's soon used against him when Goku forces him to overexert himself to the point where it's hard for Frieza to concentrate. The end result being turning one of Frieza's most destructive attacks, the Destructo Discs, against him and slicing off his body in half. It's truly a battle of epic proportions, and the ending to it is even more so. Goku gives the villain one last chance to flee, but for Frieza, being humiliated by a monkey is too much. Trying out one last attack, Frieza finds himself the victim of an angry Kamehameha that destroys Frieza's body completely in episode 105, Mighty Blast of Rage. Number 2. Luffy vs Katakuri, One Piece. Over the course of its plus 1000 episodes, One Piece threw everything at the wearer of the Straw Hat on his quest to find the item that will make him the king of the pirates. Every Admiral battle is special in One Piece, but we think that the encounter between Luffy and Katakuri deserves a mention, not only for its length, but also for its sheer brutality. Lasting for a total of 22 episodes, starting from episode 850, I'll Be Back, Luffy Deadly Departure, and ending at episode 871. Finally, it's over, the climax of the intense fight against Katakuri. This war, as we should be calling it, is a test of endurance and strength for Luffy. The massive Katakuri absolutely outclasses Luffy in every aspect. He's stronger, faster, and has access to a devilishly unique devil fruit that enables him to mimic Luffy's attacks. So, how does Luffy exactly win against such an opponent? This question is source for a lot of debate among the fandom. Guys, when we say Luffy is made of freaking steel, we really mean it. He gets his body crushed, his face turned inside out, and gets hope drained out of him. Again though, his goal of becoming the Pirate King gives him the tenacity to push through the pain and keep up the good fight. Some see that Katakuri allowing Luffy to earn a victory was nothing but a cope out by the writers because they couldn't figure out a real way for Luffy to win. Others see that since Katakuri has enjoyed himself in his long battle, he has no reason to kill Luffy and instead simply lets him pass. It's still up for debate why Katakuri stopped and laid down on the ground. All in all, it's a fitting conclusion to the awesome Whole Cake Island arc and a real treat for us fans. Number 1. Yagami vs L, Death Note. And for the longest anime battle on our list, It's none other than the legendary battle of wits between Light Yagami and L. The Death Note's thematic structure is built around the clash of the ideals between what Light, known as Kira, perceives to be right, and what L, representing law and order, believes to be true justice. Add in the additional tension of using a magical notebook that can kill people in 1 minute, and you got yourself a masterpiece that has both realistic and supernatural elements to it. Light is immediately outclassed by L in episode 2, Confrontation. Once L reveals where Kira is hiding, it's a great icebreaker and Light sees none of it coming. Now, he has to deal with the world's greatest detective hot on his heels. What can he do? The answer is to be smarter than L, and that's why we got over 24 episodes where we see Light pulling out all the stops to defeat his arch nemesis. The Batman's Gambit-like plan that Kira uses to make himself lose his memory to get close enough to L to finally write his name in the notebook is simply some of the best anime moments in history. In the end, in silence, L unfortunately meets his end, in a way that some fans describe as anticlimactic. Still, the whole atmosphere in the episode is so memorable that we can't help but go back and rewatch it hundreds of times. Well, that's it folks, we tried our best to bring you the longest and most epic battles in anime history. There's a lot to be discussed, and so many other great battles that deserve a place here. Let us know your thoughts about the ones mentioned here, and what do you think are some of the longest battles that we haven't gone over. And finally, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing anime content. Hit the like button and share the video with your community. Peace out.